Let's talk about something we've all probably dealt with at some point, that awful, uncomfortable, bloated feeling of indigestion. It can ruin a great meal, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down some super simple and effective ways to get fast relief.
I mean, you know the feeling. You've just finished eating, and instead of feeling good and satisfied, you're just left with this nagging discomfort in your upper stomach. It happens to pretty much everyone, but that doesn't mean you just have to live with it.
So what is actually going on inside our bodies? Well, the fancy medical term is dyspepsia, but really, that's just a way of saying your digestive system is having a tough time breaking down your food. And here's the key thing to remember. Indigestion itself isn't a disease. It's more like a signal, a collection of symptoms telling you something's a little off.
And that something off feeling can show up in a few different ways, right? You might get that burning sensation, or maybe you get that feeling of being totally stuffed after just a few bites. Bloating, nausea, constant burping, even a sour taste in your mouth. It can all be part of the package. Knowing what to look for is really the first step.
Okay, so we've touched on the basics. Let's just make sure we've got a solid handle on this before we dive into all the ways to fix it.
All right, let's get to the good stuff. What can you do when you need relief, like right now? This next part is your go-to toolkit for finding some immediate comfort.
Here we go, 5 powerful but really simple remedies. First, sipping on something warm like ginger or peppermint tea can literally help your stomach muscles relax. Second, a slow, gentle walk for about 10 or 15 minutes can do wonders to get things moving. For that awful acidic feeling, a little bit of baking soda in water acts like a natural antacid to neutralize it. A heating pad on your belly can also feel amazing, helping those tense muscles chill out. And finally, an old classic, chewing on some fennel seeds can really help with gas and bloating.
So, those quick fixes are great for in-the-moment relief. But if you want to get ahead of indigestion, you got to think about what you're putting into your body. This next section is all about food choices for a happy gut. Think of this as your stomach's friends and enemies list. On the left, you've got your digestive system's best buddies. Stuff like bananas, which are gentle, plain rice, which can absorb acid, and yogurt with all those helpful probiotics. But then on the right, well, you've got the usual suspects. Spicy foods, anything fried and greasy, caffeine, alcohol, and fizzy drinks are all known troublemakers that can really stir things up. Okay, so we've covered what to do in the moment and what foods to focus on. Now let's zoom out and talk about building habits that can help stop indigestion from even starting.
These 5 habits can be total game changers. Simple things, like eating smaller meals more often so you don't overwhelm your stomach. Managing your weight actually reduces the physical pressure on your digestive system. And this one is fascinating. Stress can physically slow down digestion, so things like yoga or deep breathing are more than just for your mind. Finally, timing is everything. Finish eating a few hours before bed, and try to drink most of your water between meals, not during them. It all makes a huge difference.
Now, while a little indigestion now and then is totally normal, it's super important to know when it might be a sign of something more serious. So let's quickly walk through a few key red flags to watch out for. First up, if you have any stomach pain that is really severe or just doesn't go away, that's a sign to get checked out.
Okay, next. Any sign of internal bleeding, and that could look like vomiting blood or having black, tarry stools, that is an absolute emergency. Don't wait. Along those same lines, if you suddenly find it's becoming hard to swallow your food, that's another big warning sign you shouldn't ignore.
Losing weight when you're not trying to, especially if you're also having digestive issues, is another one of those serious red flags.
And this is the most urgent one. If your indigestion comes with chest pain or shortness of breath, you need to get help immediately because that could be related to your heart.
So if any of those red flags sound familiar, or if your indigestion is just happening all the time, it's probably a good idea to see a professional. So what does that actually look like?
You know, the goal of any good medical care should be exactly this, combining the latest, most precise treatments with real human compassion. It's about getting to the bottom of things in a way that makes you feel supported.
And that kind of care, well, it really comes from expertise. For example, when you see a specialist who has over 45 years of experience, you're getting a level of deep knowledge that can uncover the true root cause of what's going on.
A specialist isn't just going to treat the symptoms. The process usually involves advanced tools to find the real root cause. Is it an ulcer? Is it GERD? Or something else entirely? And from there, they can build a treatment plan that's personalized just for you, aiming for both quick comfort and real, lasting relief.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. We've covered a ton of ways to manage indigestion.
But it's so important to remember that sometimes it's your body's way of talking to you. The key is to listen and to never hesitate to get an expert's help to figure out what it's trying to say. Thanks for joining me.